you all to this session of how to innovate in marketing, finance, technologies, and management, help in emerging business opportunities. As a part of our outreach program by Business Standard, as everybody is aware that Business Standard is a leading business daily, well known in analysis and business analysis. This is an outreach program of Business Standard, periodically organizes events to bring the industry-related policy makers together. And this is a part of that series. We are very happy to announce that Business Standard has tied up with VI to take care of this initiative. As far as today's topic goes, it's very interesting because I also personally feel that innovation is something which is very important for small businesses, and especially if it has to do with, because we are from product side, so whenever innovation happens, we talk in terms of disruptive innovation, then we talk about the linear innovation and so on. And it would be really interesting to understand that how this innovation can really we can apply this innovation in the fields of technology, not technology, in finance, marketing, and management. I'll now request Mr. Kabir Shah to give a floral welcome to today's speaker, Mr. Girish Devdarshi. I'll also request Mr. Kabir Shah to give a welcome to Mr. Aditya Saraf. He is from NICE Software Solutions and a very active VI executive body member. And Girishji also been very old executive committee member of Vidarbha Industrial Association. I'll also request Mr. Kabir Shah to give a floral welcome to Mr. Sanjay Singh from Strategic Concept India Private Limited. He is expert in sales. We are going to ask him to even help VI members to help in understanding the sales related issues. But it will be very interesting to understand that how we can innovate around the sales, marketing or management. I'll also request Mr. Kabirji to welcome Mr. Gaurav Somani, Head Business Development, Microsoft ERP Solutions Private Limited. I'll request Ashida to give a floral welcome to Mr. Sanjay Jug. He is the editor and he is the moderator for today's event also. He is from Business. I am also personally looking forward for this interactive session on innovation around the finance and marketing, sales and technology. Because these are challenging times for SMEs, and to remain relevant in the market or to maintain sustainability, profitability is a big challenge. I think innovation is one tool where I personally feel that we can bring about this change. So I will not take much time. I'll request Mr. Sanjay Jogji to really take it over, and he will be moderating this program. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Suhas. Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Sanjay Zog. I am an associate editor with the Business Standard, which has been, of course, one of the major and leading newspaper basically in business, finance and politics. We do conduct such kind of what we call as a smart business events across the country. Nagpur being the second capital of Maharashtra, we definitely choose to have it here. And the time is also opportune when the budget session is on. The discussion also is on about the GST and couple of reforms, the digital India, the technological innovations, and of course, yesterday's announcement about the willful defaulters. I'm definitely and with a purpose making this mention because Aditya is here who will talk about technology. Gaurav will speak about marketing funda, what's happening in the marketing world. Mr. Devdar is quote-unquote finance guru. So he being a chartered accountant will speak about finance, vis-a-vis the changes, what's happening in the business, finance, marketing sector. And Sanjay will speak about taking the entire clue of what these three have spoken, overall, how management fits into the entire scheme of things. So I have decided to have, just give 10 minutes each to each speaker. Before that, I'll just make a small, introduction about Smart Business is an event series where we work with trade associations and industry bodies at a local level and help highlight specific issues that are of concern to businesses. Acting as a neutral platform, it helps multiple voices to be heard, including those of industry representatives and academicians. And ultimately, the entire objective is also to take this entire fruitful discussion to a policy level. So, before just initiating the formal debate or maybe an interactive session, let me introduce to you a very novel and innovative quote-unquote panelists that we have got. Let me start with Girish Devdar. He completed his BCom from Nagpur University and he has been a chartered accountant. If I'm correct, Mr. Devdar, you are in a chartered accountant for now almost 3 decades, right? So I expect a lot of things that he will talk about the finance per se, and at the same time, what's the changing in the changing scenario when India has been, again, with a lot of initiatives with the government here, with the private sector and public sector undertakings coming in out, how finance will make a real change in the entire functioning and the positioning of this entire sector per se. Then I think I will call, after that, in fact, what I was just looking at is that technology plays a key role, that has been, and now it has been at the center stage. So what I will ask Aditya, basically speak about how technology is definitely crucial, to change the entire mindset that has been, again, in the typical state of mind, how it will change and how it will fit into the 21st century of entire funda that you are looking at, maybe at the education level, at the corporate level, at the political level, and of course at the banking and finance. And let me introduce to you Aditya. He is basically a director of NICE Software Solutions. He has been a fit, you can definitely go ahead with it. He's a chief promoter of Pegasus Wellness, if I'm correct, right? So he's a multifold personality. We have, on the one hand, he's a technological wizard. At the same time, he's in the typical he's a fitness guru also. So we'll have both together. Third, I'm going to introduce to you is Gaurav. Amongst this whatever lot we have got, I found him to be the youngest lot. He has been in this entire field for almost 9 years. He is a business head of a company called MasterSoft ERP Solutions based in Nagpur. And basically, if I'm correct, whatever I have gone through with his CV, this company is basically plays a key role in mapping customer base across the country and closing medium and large accounts for software products and customized ERP, basically, if I'm correct, Gaurav, for education institutes, right? So, welcome here. And last but not the least, Sanjay has been an alumni of Ohio State University, USA. He did his master's in business administration after completing his BE in electronics and telecommunication. And if I go on reading his this thing, I think I will require about 15 odd minutes. But to capture entire his CV, he is a knowledgeable guy who can, mix it or entering into a new orbit of a business, if I'm correct, Sanjay. So what I'm just looking at is that let's give 10 minutes each to each speaker. They will speak on their respective domain, and then we will have an interaction session. Professor Singh, I think it will go as per our, right? So let me invite basically Aditya to speak about the technology, what are the changes he is expecting, and the challenges. So welcome, Aditya.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see a great number of people here this afternoon at 45 degrees temperature in Nagpur. So welcome again. I hope it's cool enough over here. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for introducing me. I'm not really a fitness guru or anything, but I just like to be fit. So we do run that business, and thank you Business Standard for giving us this opportunity to share our views on various aspects relating to business. My field here I've been introduced in the IT, so I would like to share some views. I'll try to keep it as generic as possible, to sort of encompass all sorts of businesses that one can talk about and the impact that IT could have, does have, and will have, on these businesses, on the growth of these businesses. So taking that into account, I would like to say IT is more of an enabler. I would say IT is an enabler of business. IT by its own, presence would very rarely contribute to economic growth or economic value. So it's not really the key to unlocking economic growth by itself always. There would be, breakthroughs every once in a while which would actually change things. But in general, I would like to, look at technology as a business enabler. So what leaders should probably look at is to, work with technology and combine it with newer ways of doing business. Now, these newer ways of doing business could be anything. So it could be adding more value to the customer, providing more services, improving their business experience, making the transactions easier, removing redundancies, automating mundane tasks, and so on and so forth. So, these are some of the things that, the leaders can actually work on, find innovative ideas to use technology to enable their ideas, because IT by itself is obviously a very, very powerful tool. We can't do without it. All of us are using smartphones today. And, you lose your phone for a day, or, you put it for repair for a day, and you are like handicapped. So, I mean, that's like the most trivial example that I can give you of what IT has done to our lives. So what I would, taking this forward, I would like to talk about, technology-enabled trends, which, sort of shape up the business and economy. So, and this I would like to sort of broadly divide it into 3 business activities that normally you would see in all businesses. So the business activities, broadly speaking, would be managing relationships. That is one of the activities. So be it managing relations with your customer, with your supplier, with your consultants, all the entire ecosystem of your business. So it is, managing relationships. Second thing is managing capital and assets. Lately, it has become, a newer trend now when people talk about business is all about your capital. It's, building up your capital, taking care of your capital, utilizing the capital to the utmost. So that is the second business activity. The third business activity that I would talk about is leveraging information in newer ways to, derive more value out of it. So this will probably keep my talk, fairly generic. So it won't really be talking about only the IT industry. I come from a data analytics background. My company deals only in BI. So, I would become, if I were to talk only about my business and what we do in IT, it would become very, very, specific. So I'll try to keep it generic in these 3 terms, because any business would require managing of relationships. It would require, taking care of your assets, and obviously leveraging the information that you are, or leveraging the data that you've been collecting. So let's go go into further details of what I mean by managing relationships. How is the IT industry emerging? How it is changing, like Sanjay said, that, we want to talk about how it is changing the mindset, how people are thinking differently, or what is really happening now. So in managing relationships, I would like to, sort of give 2-3 pointers, which is one is, distribution of co-creation. What used to happen traditionally is, an entrepreneur in the past would create something on his own, all by himself or herself, and, then bring it to the market and all. Today, those scenarios are changing. So what is happening is people want more people to work with you to create something new. So create a new product or a new service or whatever. So these things have been very, very well supported by IT. So with the newer technologies available, with the sharing of information, with the internet facilities, across the board, you are able to actually give reasonable control to outsiders, people outside your corporate, outside your organization, to contribute towards an idea or, contribute towards a new product that you are planning to come with. So you can give a reasonable control in the hands of the outsiders, whereas, in the past you were keeping all the control within yourself. So when you keep the entire control within yourself, there is obviously a restriction, right? So there would be maybe more cost, be more time to roll out a product. You don't know whether it's going to be very well acceptable or not. So, the idea of co-creation is something that has been facilitated with the help of IT. For example, Linux OS, I'm sure you guys have heard of Linux. Linux has been developed online. So, it was a collective thing which was actually developed over the net with a bunch of developers who could share their views, share their ideas, and co-create this great OS that we are all using today. So, things like that, it helps us. So, basically, you provide enough control to the outsider who can contribute towards the co-creation of a product or of a service. At the same time, you maintain or you retain the overall control of the development process. It not only brings down the cost, but it helps us get the perspective of the outsider. Therefore, there's a better chance of your product doing well, and obviously the cost is lower because they are all contributing and participating with the creation of the products. Second point again is using the consumers as innovators. Give you an old example of this. So there are companies today who actually involve their consumers to give in their ideas. So it's an extension of what I just said in terms of co-creation. This is more in co-creation. It would be your customers, suppliers, maybe a consultant on board. All these facilities taken together. Whereas in the second point that I'm talking about, it's about involving only your consumers, your customers. So there are some companies which roll out the options to their customers to send in their ideas. And for example, there is a T-shirt making company who actually tells their customers to give them ideas in terms of what kind of designs they would like to see on T-shirts. And then those designs are collected in their community, in the community who's contributing, and then they will vote, and then they will realize they will probably pick out the first 3-4 passing designs. They will use those designs, they'll pay those people a prize, an award or something, and they'll get store credits for that. So what is happening is you are actually reaching out to your customers who are actually giving you their ideas and innovation, and ideas to use and develop your products faster. That's another example of how IT, again, this is possible because it's IT, right? Because you can submit your designs, you can communicate with each other with the Web 2.0 technologies, where it's an interactive technology. It's not just like a standalone website. It's an interactive thing. We are collecting a lot of information. We are exchanging two-way dialogue at social media and stuff. So we are able to utilize these things and create it. There has been a past example of this even in terms of newspapers. There used to be an online newspaper in Korea who have actually engaged almost 60,000 people to write news onto their online portal. So they basically created a citizens reporters, and that was read by 7 lakh people a day. But this was possible only because IT was there, right? So there was somebody who had a business idea, who married it with the right IT infrastructure, the right technology that required, and that's the product that he could come up with. So that's the second part of it in terms of innovators, making your own consumers your innovators. Next point would be about tapping the world for talent. Again, I would like to quote an example. There's a company called Top Coder. So they actually are sort of aggregators where they would extend their services to other people who wanted, so for example, if a party wanted to get some XYZ software made, so they could make an application to this company, and then this company would actually deliver that particular software in the best possible form, because they had aggregated a lot of developers who were in their in their community, not really in their company, so there was no cost, but in their community, and who were willing to do innovative stuff. So when there was a requirement of a particular software, they would make it at the most competitive price and be available to the end user again. So that is the way where you can tap talent, using IT. Again, I'll give you a more generic example. If you can actually have your business laid out, so you would have the finance function, a marketing function, there would be some mundane accounting tasks and stuff like that. Maybe you can actually outsource that. So you can leverage technology to actually find talent who can do that for you in the right way. So, and probably most effectively, not necessarily that if you're in Nagpur, you need somebody in Nagpur to do it for you. It could be in Pune, it could be in America for that matter. So those are the options that become open. So the world of talent becomes open for you if you are using the right technologies. Extracting more value from interactions. So yes, I mean the basic interactions which are very clear-cut defined tasks can be outsourced very easily. But then what about the task which involves a judgment? What about tasks which involves negotiations? What in terms of perceptions of people? So there is no defined rule for these kinds of tasks. But with the amount of data which is now being collected, Actually, IT is taking that step further where I can provide that much more backup, that much more data to my people who can actually review those and make even those decisions more automated than it was otherwise. So, we can extract more information and more value from all interactions within the organizations or, within and outside the organizations too. With this, these are the parts that I would wanted to focus upon in terms of relationships. So I think I've covered the customer base, I've covered, the supplier base, and I've also covered the overall talent that is available online. Next part is managing capital and assets. It's a very simple concept that people have now started talking about. So most of these companies or a lot of companies have surplus capacity. So basically when I say managing capital and assets, it's mainly leveraging or increasing the utilization, increasing the utilization of every asset that the company has. So that is what I mean by managing capital and assets. So for example, there were in the past a classic case about FedEx and UPS. So FedEx and UPS came together, so they were ready to sort of, use the frontiers of automation and bring in their data online, wherein you people could go and check, where my parcel is today. This was done more than 10 years ago. Today we are happy about seeing all these things with the Flipkarts and Amazons and all, but then FedEx and UP have done that in late 90s, so more than 15 years ago actually. So they were open to using automation. So this automation was again enabled by IT. So, they were removing this redundant task of people calling their call centers or, again approaching them, where's my parcel, when it's going to be, and those kinds of things. So they automated it. So, even and taking this further, when I look at the chains across the world, the Walmarts and the Carrefours at various places, they have been able to leverage IT to even go one step further in terms of planning their inventories, checking their logistics movements, etc., so that, their entire stock and all is maintained. So again, they've leveraged, IT to take care of their assets which are in transit at all points in time. So they want to make sure they've got the right inventories. They want to make sure that they are moving in time, and and those things have been automated and processed so that, they don't have human intervention at every space where there could be an element of error. So that is what we mean by, again, using frontiers of automation, and then taking this one step further in terms of utilization of fixed assets. A classic case of this would be Amazon. Amazon actually allows external people to use their logistics and distribution systems. Also, it allows them to use the IT infrastructure that they've got. So say for example, as Amazon has that additional bandwidth in their infrastructure, which is going to be lying idle, right? So if they are able to open their minds, if they are able to actually leverage the technologies here, they permit people from outside to actually use that infrastructure and get paid for it. So obviously their utilization is increased, the investments in their assets has increased, and also is paying back much faster, because obviously they are utilizing it for themselves, as well as they've got customers who are utilizing it now and paying them for it. So again, that is a very, very important factor, and that has been again facilitated with the help of IT. I'd like to quote 2-3 very, very small examples, in terms of leveraging this unbundling. What we call in our term is unbundling of production and delivery. So, sure. Yeah, I'm good with that. I can cut it short. So yeah, I mean, again, no, I'm good with 3 minutes. So basically taking this next step, the same thing, leveraging of assets or utilizing of assets. IT has made it possible to actually do small things like, fractional time utilization on jets. I can't afford a jet, but I would like to, sort of rent it for a few hours. So the person who owns the asset is obviously looking at utilizing the asset more, and if we get somebody who's utilizing it and paying for it, those are the business ideas that people have come up with. So not only about jets, but also about supercars, sometimes sports cars, and to the lowest level, if I talk about designer bags. So, I mean, and it's not, I'm talking over the world, it's in Delhi, it's in India, where people are actually using these kinds of tools in IT, wherein I can put my stuff, I got high-end designer stuff which I'm not going to use every day. I can put it online. People who want to use it for a day or two, take it for a day or two, pay me for it, and I'm fine with it. So, I mean, these are small innovations that I wanted to bring it to you people, that IT has made this possible. I mean, just imagine if IT wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to use this fractional time, or I wouldn't be able to enhance my utilization either. Last point that I was talking about was leveraging the information in newer ways. And I think that's probably where our business comes in. So, there's a hell lot of data being collected by everybody. You talk about telephone companies, you talk about credit card agencies, banks, insurance companies, pharma sector for that matter, any sector, education, all these sectors, they're collecting a whole bunch of data, be it about students, be it about their customers, be it about their suppliers. Now, leveraging this information in your way. So if I am able to analyze this data and utilize this into making business decisions, stronger business decisions, that's where a lot of value and a lot of innovation comes in. So, and that's what we do in our business, where we are able to actually analyze data that is collected and utilize it, for big decision making and taking business forward. With this, again, I would like to give you one example of CCTVs. So CCTV recordings are done, right? So CCTV recordings, what is the typical usage that we do with a CCTV recording? मेरे यहाँ कुछ problem हुई तो मैं बाद में जाके I can read the recording and see who did the problem. That's typically what we do the CCTVs for. But that's like the most lowest level of utilization of a CCTV recording that we are doing. Now the companies have advanced far further than this. What they are doing actually is they are actually reviewing all these CCTV recordings of their stores, of their banking areas and stuff, and they will redesign their layouts to see how they can place their products better, where they should put their promotional items, where they should put, a particular product versus another particular product, and they're actually utilizing movement patterns and stuff like that. So security has just become one function of having a CCTV there. So again, this is an innovation, right? So this thing is already there, but it's just a new way of looking at things. It's just a new idea which is now utilizing technology to, develop more value out of it. So I think these are some generic things that I wanted to just share. These have been ideas, most of these ideas I have quoted are already implemented, are already used there. So you can realize or understand or, estimate the power of IT. But what I still want to say is IT is an enabler. You have an idea, you have a business, you want to do it in a new way, IT is the way. IT will support you to take care of it, and IT can take you forward with that part of it. But that's all. Thank you so much.
Now, take it from Aditya, I will now invite Gaurav to speak about marketing, which is the age of marketing. You go to any sector, banking, finance, IT, FMCGs, consumer goods, you will have a whole lot of marketing, and it's capturing the attraction of consumers like you and me. So Gaurav, you have about 10 minutes.
So, thank you, Sanjay ji, and thank you, Business Standard and VI, giving an opportunity here. So, we're talking about, innovations in marketing. As rightly said by, our colleague, Aditya sir, that IT is what, is enabling everything, and IT is an enabler. So are the marketing tools. As we take it ahead, we would see that, in the era previously, marketing as a concept didn't exist. Traditional business was like, it was on the name, Aditya Birla, Tata and Sons, Chandak. So, the family title names were associated with the business, and they never required marketing as such, because word of mouth was more than sufficient for the business to move ahead. But in the present scenario, it's not so. Marketing has become, the most important aspect to be in the game, and innovate again and again is also very important. So why innovation? If we see that, creativity is something where, we relate to idea and action, and innovation is creativity and productivity. So if we put it in the right sense, innovation is process and outcome of creating something new. So if you have created something new and that makes a value, then that is what you call as innovation. Obviously, the basics, as everyone knows, 4 P's of marketing. So, price, product, place and promotion, and everything needs to innovate. Innovation in a product, we can see, I'll like to take the complete story through examples. We can correlate the previous versions of Colgate, and today we have multiple options that are available. So the same brand you know, from one variant has moved to multiple variants. They have innovated in product. क्या आपके toothpaste में नमक है? So you know that's appealing to a particular segment of crowd. So this is what is innovation. You have to innovate in your products.